party. Life's always a party. Let's go, Paulie.
Yo, baby, how we doing? Life's party. Life's always a party.
I like the little zip you got going on.
Oh, the vest?
The vest.
The vest is the way to go. I think I've seen everyone rock vests, and I think it's the new style for me.
So I wanted to address something.
What do we
I
got?
told you pre-show I was going to bring this to you and see what your opinion was on this.
Okay.
But we posted a TikTok, and you were talking in it, and once somebody commented that you look like a chubby DiCaprio.
Really?
I was like, that's a compliment.
DiCaprio is a very handsome-looking man. I'm
They were
not
like,
gonna
he
lie.
looks like a chubby DiCaprio. You didn't see that comment?
Where was it on?
I forget which one it was. I think I wasn't even in it. But the guy was like, that's chubby DiCaprio. I was like,
That wasn't the only thing.
I was like, hey, that's a compliment.
There
Like,
was
if
a-
you get called a chubby DiCaprio?
There was one on the Eagles post that went out. I forget what it was, but it was like someone was like, the interviewer is my idol, and you responded with, you're my idol, and there was just no response.
Oh, yeah.
What's he get a new mic and thinks he's coming in early this
Yeah,
episode?
there he is.
Yes.
One other comment. What did I ask you before the show started? The Abraham Lincoln?
He was like, is there some joke with Abraham Lincoln in a theater? And our producer's like, well, Abraham Lincoln died in a theater. He was assassinated.
We posted a TikTok about theater, and I was like, someone commented that Abraham Lincoln, or they said like, I heard that Abraham Lincoln loves theater, and I was like, this is, and it had like 10 likes on it, or
Yeah.
like 8 likes. I was like, why is this something that people are getting that I'm not? So I asked you guys,
What's
I was like,
the joke
I was
here?
like,
Yeah.
what is going on here? And producer Drew was like, maybe because he got shot in one. So that's that. But how you feeling today, Chubby DiCaprio?
I'm feeling good. I was feeling good. At least, I had my new vest on starting the year hot.
You don't like that? You don't like the chubby? You don't think
I don't
it's a
know.
compliment?
No, I guess. I mean, he's a very handsome looking man. I get it.
Did you
watch?
handsome in the TikTok?
I watched his new movie. There's a big thing in the movie too, where everyone's just talking about how he's like a scientist and how scientists are supposed to be boring, and he's like super handsome in the movie.
Now I think that what was that movie called?
It's called Don't Look Up. It's on Netflix. Don't Look Up.
They should call it Don't Watch It. I think
Why?
that's-
Did you watch it?
Horrible movie.
See,
I think it was such a forced. It's like I don't want to get like fired at by the people. I was gonna say it's like a forced topic, but it is something that I know that Jonah Hill's passionate about. I know DiCaprio is a big Earth guy.
Yeah.
So it feels like it was like a forced project. I didn't like it. Did you like it?
So what's interesting about the movie is it's one of the most divisive films that I've ever seen, and I think
What's that mean?
I
I don't
really
know what
liked
that
it.
means.
Divisive, like people are very for it or against
Oh,
it.
okay.
Like there's no middle ground. Everyone's like, "Oh, this movie's great," or a lot of people are like, "Oh, this movie's awful." And I've seen a lot of talks about that online. And what's interesting too is, I mean, because it's on Netflix, so it's available to everyone.
I think
Everyone's
it's number
like,
one on Netflix.
it's on, dude. It broke a lot of records on Netflix. And I don't know. I think what makes it interesting is that it's very timely and it's a satire on the environment. And that's what DiCaprio, as you said, DiCaprio is very environmentally involved. He's talking about global warming. It's a passion project for him. So it was made to kind of parallel our problems with the earth and environmental issues. But at the same time, it was a satire on COVID and like how the government is dealing with COVID. But it was written, that was not its intention at all. It was written in 2019 before COVID happened. They filmed it during COVID, actually, had a lot of COVID protocols. But if you look at a lot of the themes and the messaging behind the film, it's like there's a lot of satire there. So a lot of people are fighting over it because they feel as though like everyone's like, oh, I don't get it, or oh, this isn't good. But a lot of the jokes are kind of like towards like Trump supporters, kind of.
Right. Yeah, it is.
So that's the reason they're like, oh, I didn't like this film. It's like, well, they were probably making fun of like you, which is insane. Not you, but I'm saying like people who are offended or don't like the film. But I think, I don't know, it's a good film, but I can see there's a lot of flaws to it and why people don't like it.
Very star-studded.
Oh,
you
my!
got
There's
Meryl
so many people
Streep,
in the
Jennifer
film.
Lawrence, Timmy Chalamet. I mean, it's just star-studded.
There's a lot of people in it. And I don't know, like it's so
also
weird.
not
'cause-
my type of movie. Like,
Yes.
But then I give those kind of things a chance. But I don't know. I just didn't like it. I mean, my brother didn't like it. My girlfriend didn't like it. I don't like people actually like this.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Like
Did you think?
it's probably like those really like diehard environment people like that these famous celebrities are coming together with a movie and finally bringing attention to global warming and what's going on in politics and shit like that. Like I get that point of view.
Yeah.
But the overall, if you're just grading it on a movie based, I don't know.
I think it's a specific style of movie too. The director, Adam McKay, he's directed a bunch of films. There's a movie that I really like. He did. It's called Cheney, and it's about Dick Cheney, the old vice president of the United States. and it has a very specific style to it. And you could tell with this movie, like it's a very artsy type of film. But I think it's also heavy. I think a lot of maybe, the topics and memes, it's not very palatable for the everyday like fan base to take it in. Like it's no Spider-Man, right? Like it's not. It's you think a little bit more, but a lot of times I think people like that film because it makes you think more.
We're like 5 or 6 minutes into the show, and I forgot that I have a scuba hat on.
Yeah, you're repping.
I forgot that I have a bucket scuba hat on for everybody listening at home and now on YouTube. So Scuba, shout out! I'm rocking you today on the show.
You're listening to Scuba Beer Based Podcast. We Scuba here on the show. We were fortunate enough. They gave us some bucket hats this summer. We got a big order shipment from them when we did a party this summer, and
It's not really bucket hat season.
not yet, no. But spring, I think March, we'll be wearing the bucket hats a lot more.
Do you think bucket hats are underrated?
100%, yeah.
I think they probably are too. Okay, so let's get into the show. You have anything else? Well, over the weekend, Eagles lost. I know
Yeah.
you hit me up because you didn't have cable. You're like, how can I watch the game? I was like, I don't have. You're asking the wrong guy. First of all, I have 20 channels at my house. But you didn't get to watch the game?
So this is crazy. This is just modern day technology. I end up watching the game via TikTok.
I do that with you, like fights sometimes, like the Jake Paul fights.
Yeah.
I'll go on Instagram and someone's Instagram live in it.
Dude, somebody is streaming every live event now. It's literally insane. And I said, you know what? I can't find it online. I was looking on Reddit trying to stream this playoff game between the Eagles and the Buccaneers, and everyone wanted me to pay for it.
What'd you do? Watch on your phone?
Yeah. So what I did was I was like, you know what? I'll just go to TikTok. First live stream the game. And I said, you know what? Fine, cool. And what I did was I went to that username's profile and I sent him his video to myself so that I could always just find his page. So when I went, there was a commercial break or halftime and I didn't want to stay on my phone and not use TikTok and not use my phone at all. I was like, there we go. That was my way back into the live stream, and I remembered it, and that's how I watched the game. TikTok.
I find myself on TikTok sometimes watching live streams when people are doing those like ping pong trick shots. I'm sitting there watching for like 10 minutes. I'm like, come on, you can make it.
I was watching one recently because I just got on TikTok, and the first thing they showed me was that, and I'm just like, why am I entranced?
I'm like, I gotta, but I don't like to let them know that I'm watching, so I don't click in.
What do you mean?
Like, you know how you like tap the screen and you're like into the live now?
The message?
You can watch it just on the news feed without clicking in.
Okay.
I do that. I don't know why. I don't want to be.
You don't want to give them anything?
When the girls are naked.
Well, no. TikTok, if you go on TikTok live streams are very interesting. There's so many different ways that people try to like keep your attention. The trick shots are one. A lot of people do like ping pong trick shots, and you watch them kind of just sit there for hours trying to make this trick shot, which is very intriguing. And
What's Dude Perfect?
Yeah, I mean, it's Dude Perfect, but the thing is, it's cool because you want to be there when they make it.
Right.
You're just watching this process happening. Why, it's kind of, it's interesting. Then there's one that I hate. Let me tell you.
Wait, can I guess what it is?
Yeah.
Is it the one when they have like the stopwatch and they click like
no.
enter like so many times until they try to get to like 1 million clicks?
Really?
But then every time someone gifts that person something, it like subtracts.
Yeah, I've seen those because now you can like give creators and live streams like I don't remember what they are, but like certain emojis and that has some cash value to it.
Correct.
He's like, come on, let me get to 1 million clicks. Let me get to 1 million clicks, and people just keep sending gifts so that he keeps going backwards, so he can't get to 1 million.
Yeah,
clicks.
but that guy's just finessing the system because what he's realizing that people are paying him to not be successful. Like that's his niche.
The problem I have with it is that like he'll get to a certain goal where he'll stop and he'll start slowing down.
Yeah.
It's like, don't do it, guys, don't do it. And then people will start sending things in. I'm like, dude, you're killing me.
But what were you talking about?
No, so and this is why I hate the live streams because that's the whole point, right? Live streams, those guys and those people are trying to make money. And you can be on a live stream and the people who are watching can send you gifts. They can send you like an emoji, as producer Drew said, and each emoji, whether it's a heart, a happy face, whatever it is like attached to like maybe $1 or 50 cents or whatever it is. So there's a guy or a bunch of people. What they started to do was they break down the shell of an egg. Have you seen this?
Oh yeah, I've seen stuff like that recently.
I've
Down
seen
the shell of an egg.
everyone. They basically will crack the shell of the egg without breaking the egg. So they'll penetrate the egg shell and then slowly rip it off and detach it from its soft inner like sides.
What?
Yeah,
Dude,
there's a membrane inside the egg, and you could take the shell off.
And make it like a soft ball
That's
almost.
like the the dude that does the rubber bands with the watermelon?
Yes.
And he wraps the rubber band around the watermelon until it explodes. It's so fucking dumb.
No, but this egg thing, it makes
It's
me
always funny when they just like when it
It's
breaks.
not a
and then they're
hard-boiled
scared.
egg.
No, it's a normal egg.
They just like chisel the
And
egg.
they just chisel down, and you're watching this thing, and it's just super addicting because you want to see the end result, right? You want to see the end result, but the whole point is they want to keep you on there as long as physically possible. So they'll be cracking this egg super fast. They'll be like, oh, cool, everything's good. They'll get to the tip. There's like a little bit left, which will probably take 10 seconds.
Right.
It's like 8-minute thing. I'm sitting there like, bro, this guy sucks. And everyone's in the comments like, why are you taking so long? Why? Like, come on, it's almost done. Let's go. And I'm like, the guy doesn't want to finish because he's getting paid so much right now. And then he's going to finish and just restart another egg. That's all he's going to do. And you're just going to be scrolling. Like, if you have time, scroll TikTok or Instagram live feeds, and it's
and waste an hour of your life.
waste time. Waste time.
There's TikTok videos on the feed like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like they have this whole like magic trick, and then you get to the end and they don't reveal the trick. It's like, stay tuned for part 2.
I hate
I'm like, I
that
just
shit.
watched this for 10 minutes, and you're not even gonna see the outcome. Then you go to part 2, you watch part 2, still no outcome.
No,
you gotta
well,
wait for part 3. I'm like, what the fuck?
The worst part is when people do part 2s and part 3s, but half the part is the first part. So like you'll watch part
Oh,
1,
yeah.
and then part 2 will be the second half of part 1 and only a little bit new stuff. It's like I just watched another 3-minute video of the same stuff. This is so stupid.
Well, thank God TikTok got fast forwarding.
Yes,
Isn't that
now-
a newer thing?
That is a new feature.
Well, not new, but
But it's a feature of your video, I believe, is longer than a minute. Someone can go to the bottom and kind of like scroll through it.
what's the breakdown on time? Is everyone doesn't have the same allotted time, right?
I think it's based on country. You're available, like how long you can post. So, I mean, originally TikTok started as 15-second.
I know you need like a certain amount of followers for you to do like a 1.5-minute video.
Do you?
Back in the day.
I'm not sure. I know TikTok now you can upload up to 3 minutes of
Okay.
content. That's the thing. But our first segment here, we get it. We love TikTok here on the show.
We do.
Our first segment here is Pixar Fun Facts. So we love talking Pixar, anything from Disney here on the show. I'm just going to give you some fun facts from Pixar.
All right, first one. This one's a little creepy. Thank God this did not happen. But Toy Story's Woody, I think we have him on set. Oh, he's up there.
He did.
So we have Woody on set. So Toy Story's original Woody was a ventriloquist dummy. Executives at Disney requested that he be changed to something else, as ventriloquist dummies were usually associated with horror movies, and they obviously didn't want their cute little family movies to be terrifying for little kids.
Have they never seen Jeff Dunham?
Jeff Dunham is one of the best
I
comedians.
haven't watched him. Is he like a family-centric
No.
comedian?
No.
Dirty?
Yeah,
I know he is.
He's dirty, but he's not like super dirty. He's just, his jokes are like crazy. Like,
Isn't there like a time where like Woody is possessed in Toy Story? Or like
no, there's a time where they reset Buzz Lightyear's settings, so he's like Spanish
Yeah.
and he doesn't have any memory. That's like a
That's
whole
fun.
storyline in the Toy Story films. But no, I think in Toy Story 4 they go to an antique shop, and a lot of Toy Story 4's plot takes part in the antique shop with Woody and Bo Peep, and they are fighting ventriloquist dummies. There's like 3 of them, and they're fighting the ventriloquist dummies, and the dummies are kind of almost like bodyguards.
were they bad guys?
Yes.
Well, go figure.
That's the whole point, right? Like there's because that's what they are. They're super creepy. I mean, the idea of a doll, right? And Chucky, it's like always smiling or
Yeah.
is sitting in the corner, right? That's why dolls are famous in horror movies, because they can be so creepy.
I was just thinking of Elmo and how Elmo's popping off now.
Elmo,
That's a Ventriloquist. I have to read in order to say.
he's not a ventriloquist. No, Elmo is a puppet. Elmo's a straight puppet. There's no like guy on the end. Like, I mean, there is,
there
but
is.
yeah, but it's different because
What the
Ventriloquist-
hell's the difference between a ventriloquist and a puppet?
Ventriloquism is when you can do it while your entire body is on display.
Well, Elmo is just okay. Well, yeah.
So it's very different because like a ventriloquist is the whole idea is that you are hiding the fact that you are talking and being with the puppet and acting as the puppet, where being a puppet like any of the Muppets or any of the characters in Sesame Street, that's a full puppet where, you know, all you're seeing is the puppet. You're not seeing the character performer underneath.
There's ventriloquists now that can like talk at the same time as the doll. You ever see that?
I've said, yeah, I mean, people are very talented what they do.
Wild. I heard producer Drew can do it actually.
Okay.
I cannot.
One of our guests on the show, we'll bring him on his
Dude,
his
I would
dummy.
If I could argue with myself like Jeff Dunham does, I would totally do it.
Do you recommend like me to watch like a Netflix special? Like he does like comedy specials, right?
He
Where
does do
just-
Netflix specials, and those are the only things on Netflix that I've actually watched, and they're fucking hilarious.
So I've seen Jeff Dunham live.
I've seen him
Oh, you
live
did?
too.
I've
Where?
seen Jeff Dunham in Atlantic City. I went to Atlantic City with my mom, and we were going to see another comedy show. Just like I think it was like the Hard Rock or
Was
one
it
of the.
me? My comedy show?
No, it was not your comedy show.
Well, I am a comedian, so.
He's
And
never gonna let that
we went
down.
to Atlantic City to see a random comedy show, and I saw that Jeff Dunham was playing, and I went to my mom and I was like, "Hey, do you think we can go see Jeff Dunham?" So we ended up exchanging our tickets for free. Didn't have to pay to go see
Didn't
Jeff
even know that
Dunham.
was possible.
Yeah, it was crazy, and just randomly saw his like special. He basically does, I want to say, about a 15-minute bit that it's just him. So he does like a
I was
stand-up
gonna ask
bit.
that. Does he do stuff and then brings out?
Yeah, he does it at the very beginning.
So he starts it and basically gives you the story of his life, like who he is, and makes it funny and allows you to have like a background on who he is and his life
Yeah.
and like his family, so that when his characters and his puppets make fun of him, you understand the joke.
Yeah, because like
Right.
he did a bit on a Netflix show recently where, actually I say recently, it was 2015, but he
That,
was
that
talk-
would not be classified as recently.
that would not be classified as recently. It was the most recent thing I could find, but he talked about how he got pink eye, and then later on in the show you'll hear the puppets will talk about that and start making fun of him for how he got pink eye and shit like that.
Exactly.
I feel like that'd be an easier way to do comedy. Like you actually have like you can do a dialogue.
Yeah, but he's both like it's challenging because he's both people and he's both
No,
stories.
yeah, I get that.
But it allows him to have a back and forth, right, between the character.
So luckily Woody wasn't a crackhead and a scary doll. He was Woody.
I keep
Correct.
looking at him and I keep thinking to myself, yeah, that is a fucking ventriloquist doll every time I look at Woody.
I've been Woody for Halloween a couple years actually. No one wants to see that.
You
That's
got
a
a
chubby
friend.
big Woody right there. Okay. Get show. See, that's what Paul thinks I have. I'm not that good of a comedian, Paul. Like I didn't have that plan.
I'm not saying you
it just
had that
comes.
plan.
It just comes out, and then it's like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. I didn't think it through.
Whatever you think, bro. Whatever you think works, I'll let you do your
Why I
thing.
shouldn't have a microphone on me.
Hey, we're talking about Toy Story here. Come on.
Second Pixar fun fact we got for you here. Wally and R2-D2 are actually played and voiced by the same actor.
This fucking blew my mind.
So the voice of Wally
I couldn't
is
fucking believe it.
okay, buddy. The voice of Wally is legendary sound designer Ben Burtt, and Burtt is best known for his work on Star Wars, and you can thank him for his R2-D2 distinctive chatter. Although he's worked on little films like E.T. and Indiana Jones.
It's pretty wild.
Well, I mean,
Well, I guess it fits his like niche, like a robot.
oh, well, no. I mean, just the idea of voice actors in general. There's two very famous voice actors in Disney. There's one, John Ratzenberger. Or in Pixar, he's been in almost every Pixar film as a voice actor.
Oh, I've seen that.
And he's only not done like one film, but he's like Ham in Toy Story.
Yeah.
He was the Underminer in The Incredibles. And he's always
Was
just
he
like little
Maynard in
parts.
Cars or no?
What?
Was he Maynard in Cars?
No, he's
He's something. in
I think he's the Mack truck.
Okay,
He's
yeah,
like Lightning McQueen's truck, trailer truck. So, but John Ratzenberger, he is like Pixar's lucky voice. And then there's a guy also too in Disney where he is a voice actor for a lot of Disney films and like the last 6 Disney animated films. And he's done. He was in like Raya and the Last Dragon as the animal sidekick. He does a lot of animal voices. So I think this is the same idea where you have Ben Burtt, who can do a lot of robot voices,
Yeah.
doing Wally, R2-D2, C-3PO, which is pretty dope.
That's a pretty big flex. Like at a club, like I am the voice, or would you say lucky voice of?
It is like
Disney?
so this guy, you could be like, I'm the lucky robot voice of Disney.
You can get any girl at any club with that line.
Would you?
I was actually looking on Google the other day. I was looking at some voice acting openings.
Okay.
We talk about this all the time. I would love to be a voice. Do you think they get like a little discouraged how they don't get as much fame as voice actors?
No, so I've watched documentary on voice acting because I mean I've been interested in it as well years ago, and voice actors actually like it a lot because it comes you have
It's some sort of privacy.
Yeah, you have this you can be in the entertainment industry, but you have a lot more privacy than those famous actors. But at the same time, which is cool, is that randomly you can surprise kids and surprise people with that distinctive voice that they know of.
Right.
So if you're this is a little different because
Well,
this
the
is
Family Guy. Seth, what's his name? Seth Macfarlane?
Yeah.
He has like 3 voices in Family Guy.
Hey, I think he has more. I mean, he does a
wild.
lot. There's a guy, John Kroll, I think.
Nick Kroll.
Nick Kroll. So Nick Kroll in Big Mouth, he does like 15 voices on the show. I mean, it's his show, so I could see where he does that.
I remember I was watching a TikTok with Seth Macfarlane, and they were doing like a Family Guy episode read.
Yeah.
It's like literally just him the whole time, just doing it, which is crazy. It is wild. But Saturday Night Live saw him on the streets. He was like, "You ever use any of those voices on your kid?" He's like, "Yeah, but they freak him out."
No, well, I've seen people of like Tom Kenny, who does the voice of SpongeBob, and him and the other guy who does the voice of Patrick. I mean, they've been doing SpongeBob since I think '99, so they're clearly friends. Like they're around each other so much. All those voice actors of that show, and they've done like phone calls and like voicemails for people, which is really cool to be like, "Hi, like, oh, this is SpongeBob. Like, Ryan can't get to the phone right now," and he does the whole thing for a person or a fan. And that's maybe a Comic-Con or some convention.
Isn't it crazy how it's most of the time not their normal voice? Well, like Woody Tom Hanks, that's his normal voice.
Basically
and like
his voice, yeah. Tim Allen does
same voice. But like Macfarlane, I don't think he uses like his same voice or like Patrick. Or,
no. But I've seen people who do like impressions, right? So that guy Matt, he does impressions of people. If you can get the impression of the original actor, so if, say he can do Seth MacFarlane, he can usually do all of Seth's voices because it's a very specific tone. And he's like, okay, now I have this, and he just turns the dial a little bit, and he's got Peter Griffin, and he's got like all these famous voice characters that he does. But yeah, it is interesting that, I mean, a lot of the time when Pixar, right? So perfect example, Pixar picks these very famous people to do voice acting, like say Ellen DeGeneres for Dory. They want Ellen DeGeneres. They don't want Ellen. Like Ellen is a famous person. Tom Hanks, same idea.
I'm trying to think of like a famous Pixar movie that doesn't have an already famous actor or actress as their lead. You know what I'm saying? Like there's Ellen as Dory, and then Buzz Lightyear's Tim Allen, and Woody is Tom Hanks. Is there a Pixar movie out there that doesn't have that big of a celebrity as the main guy?
I would have to say Wally.
Well, Wally, there's no really famous voice actor in general. I mean, most of the film, not gonna lie, is silent.
Soul was
Jamie Foxx.
That's what I'm saying.
Jamie Foxx. So no, but I mean,
there could be a Pixar movie that someone wasn't famous to begin with, animation wise, and then grew famous. But I don't know. We would have to have a list of Pixar movies to like think it through.
It really but I mean, Owen Wilson is Lightning McQueen. You have who is it? The Monsters Inc. The two people in Monsters Inc. I'm mad that I even brought that up because I can't say their name. But no, something really cool in animation. Well, it's weird because animation. It's a good thing and a bad thing about animation. But the idea of having very famous actors voice characters in movies for animation really started with Robin Williams in Aladdin. So because he was a very big name at the time, in the early 90s when they filmed Aladdin, or they animated Aladdin, he didn't want, his biggest thing was Robin Williams did not want Disney to advertise the film of Aladdin using his name or any of the merchandise, like push Aladdin merchandise or Genie merchandise using his name. He wanted the film to just be the film. And like he performed his role, and he didn't want his name to be pushed to sell merchandise or movie tickets or stuff like that. Disney completely ignored him.
Well, yeah, you have to ignore that.
No, but like,
wouldn't you ignore that?
No, but if you think about that, almost 30 years ago, like it's coming up on the 30-year anniversary of that movie. I mean, it was a very different landscape of animation where like they could advertise based on the voice talent. That was not something they did before. He wanted the film to just be the film, and then Disney realized the power like they have, and they actually breached his contract because they had a contract where they couldn't do that. Anything involving Robin Williams, like pushing merchandise and pushing sales using his name. And after, I think it was a couple months, like they breached the contract.
Well, that helps the success of it.
Yeah, but I think Robin Williams was really pissed off. When
he was extremely pissed off about it. Like he was like, please don't do this. Like, you know what I mean? But I mean, before
what do you
that
mean,
time,
like push like Robin Williams?
It was like, hey, go see the new Disney film. It's Robin Williams this, Robin Williams that. Oh, he's in the film. He's the genie. He's one of the main characters.
He didn't want his name plastered on it. He just wanted it to be the movie.
He just wanted to be in the movie and have the movie be successful because it's a great story. And that's what's the hard thing with movies in general. It's like it has to be very successful creatively, it has to be a good story, but you also need the business aspect of it to push the sales and to get people to see it. Because if no one sees your movie, it doesn't matter how good it is, it wasn't successful.
Voice acting almost like how they get these people in a role. It almost works on like opposite. Like you have to be famous, have a resume, and then hey, we'll look at you for voice acting.
Yeah, that's what they did with like the Lion King. Like when they got the cast for that, they were all people that you probably knew.
But it was never like that before, though.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Before that Disney Renaissance, it was never like
Now
that.
writers, like producers and writers, they write to a celebrity.
Correct. And
They
then,
want, I want Dwayne the Rock Johnson as
Yes.
whoever the hell he was in Moana. Like they're writing before they even ask him to
Yes.
be the voice of in Moana.
So what's cool about that stuff, and they did this with Robin Williams actually. So when the creators of Aladdin had the idea of Robin Williams voicing the genie, what they did was they took a comedy special of Robin Williams. They took the audio track from it and animated the audio track of Robin Williams as the genie. And basically, it's super cool. Definitely check it out. And they did a whole sketch of basically animating Robin Williams, his like comedy sketch, but it was the genie, and it gave people, and they pitched that to him to be like, hey, we really want you. This is what it would kind of look like, and how we want the set to go, and your character to be, and like this is why you should be in this movie. And it was a persuasion tactic to get him to voice the character.
That's wild. Imagine just showing up and they're like, oh, they want me to be the voice of the genie, and then they have like a whole what you would actually fucking sound like if you were the
This
genie.
is what you would sound like. This is what the character would look like in
Here's
literally your
charisma,
voice.
Here's like this shit. Like wow.
Oh, 100%.
Can we look up Mike Wazowski and who the hell that is? I'm driving me nuts.
Mike Wazowski is
Billy
Billy Crystal.
There we go. And Sully is Big Boy who has the Home Improvement.
Yeah, I
Tim
know.
Allen?
No.
Is he Home Improvement?
No, he's Roseanne. It's Roseanne.
What? Who the hell is his name? We have to address this because it was as the whole time Paul's talking, I'm just thinking like, who the hell is Mike Wazowski?
It's Billy Crystal, and
Hold on, I got it.
I like know his name. I'm so mad.
I was literally driving.
It's John. John.
Billy Crystal and John.
Favreau.
No.
Good.
Goodman. John Goodman.
There you go.
He gave me the G.
The easiest last name.
Yeah,
of all.
John Goodman.
I remember you telling me that genie thing with.
With Robin
Did
Williams.
they just take his stand up and then there's
Yeah, they took a stand-up special. They took the audio track and they animated the audio track using his like facial features and their character designing of the genie.
as well. I'm gonna after this show, I'm gonna go, or if you're listening right now, like see if you can just go on like Pixar movies and see if there's like a main actor who isn't like famous.
I think
voice
Brave.
actor.
You ever see Brave?
No, I know the movie though, but
Even like
I thought that was DreamWorks. Is that Pixar?
Brave is Pixar.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at their more bigger flops, I think they don't really have main voice talent behind it, which was The Good Dinosaur and Brave. I think are their two biggest flops. But Brave is still pretty well known.
I heard The Good Dinosaur is good.
It's
so then you
okay.
can also use that angle where the Robin Williams effect, where you don't want the marketing strategy to be, oh, Robin Williams is in this, blah, blah, blah. But Good Dinosaur didn't have that, and it flopped. So maybe you need that angle in today's world.
I think today you do. I agree.
Yeah, because people aren't going to waste their time now.
And last Pixar fun fact we got here for you
This one's a sad one.
is the co-writer and director of Cars died during the film's production. So Cars is dedicated to Joe Ranft, a longtime collaborator of John Lasseter, Pixar's chief creative officer at the time, and is co-writer and co-director of the film. Raft died in a car accident on August 16th, 2005, while Cars was still in production. Tim Burton's The Corpse Bride, which Raft was executive producer on, is also dedicated to him.
I mean, I don't want to be the one to say it, but that is pretty ironic.
There's a lot of crazy stories like that.
I would also say that it would also suck. Like, imagine putting all your time and effort into producing and writing a movie, and you never get to see the outcome.
So
Normally, don't they just reshoot the entire show again, or now they just put AI generated people in?
Well, yeah, what they did with Paul Walker, like they got his brother or some shit.
They got his brother, and they did digital facial replacement, or I don't know what the actual term is, but they, for the last scene, or I think maybe a third of the film, they had to rework the entire script. They were like, hey, this is what we shot with Paul Walker before he died, and they kind of restructured the film to use the footage they currently had to finish most of the film with his character without having to be like replace him or reshoot a bunch. And then also honor him as well.
Yeah.
And that's why that last scene of Fast and Furious 7 is like so emotional because
Yeah.
they brought his brother and they did the facial, the digital facial replacement, and then they kind of gave like a goodbye
Till
and
I see you
yeah
again.
to Paul Walker.
The waterworks are going there. But you can't.
What?
Not much else to say about this.
No, I mean for what I was gonna say, there's a few actors in weird cases where they'll die during filming, or a producer or like somebody very influential will die. I had a good story. I can't remember it, so let's just move on.
Wasn't it like a Disney one? And then that's what we talked about on the show. Someone died, and then they got. Was it Star Wars? And they got the new director cut, and then they released it when it was half of the one director, half of the other.
Oh wait, no. So oh well, no, that was Zach. That was the Justice League, where
Oh,
like
yeah.
the Justice League. So Ryan's talking about the Justice League from Warner Brothers, and this was a superhero film. Came out a couple years ago, where the director actually he filmed like half the movie,
Yeah.
and then he had a family tragedy, and he basically stopped filming, and they brought on another director, and the new director basically butchered the film.
Yeah. That's
And then 2 years later, they came out. They allowed him to reshoot stuff and finish his version of the film, and it's called the Schneider Cut, and it was on HBO Max, and fans really loved it. So it just shows you like how important sometimes the director is to their project.
I like Cars. How many cars? Aren't there a lot of Cars?
There are 3 Cars
Three
films.
Yeah.
Is
and
there a
the-
Cars show?
No, they
No,
do.
I don't think they did a show for it.
They do Cars shorts. That was a huge thing on Disney Channel for a while. There was like Cars shorts, but even what's crazy is the Cars movies aren't that great. The first one, great, but do you know why they kept pushing? Because the merchandise for Cars outsells almost every other IP in Disney.
Dude,
for
my
No,
merch.
little my
there's no
little cousin had
There's
a
no fucking way. Like
Yeah.
Frozen?
Dude, do you understand how popular cars are? Just like not the property, like a normal car or toy car for a kid is. Imagine that's why they kept pushing those products, because it was like new characters for little boys, and it was a big push for their market because Disney Disney for a long time has been very heavily geared toward girls, like little girls in the princess line.
Yeah.
So having
Lightning McQueen was like the guy's
it was a
Elsa.
They finally had a male audience.
correct.
they
It was a
could go
big
to.
Cars was a big push for boys, and same thing why Disney bought Marvel and Lucasfilm. It was 2 very male-heavy properties that they could push in their theme parks, their merchandise, their brand. That for a very long time was geared towards families and little girls.
My little cousin had a Lightning McQueen bed. Like his
I had
bed
a-
was the Lightning McQueen.
Yep.
I had a whole Lightning McQueen bedroom.
And
My
they,
whole
they-
room.
you have like Cars underwear, Cars light up shoes.
Okay, it wasn't that far.
No, he's right though. But a lot of times it was those little toy cars,
Yeah.
where you could buy the first set, right, and then they have all the extended characters, and then they were making toys that for characters not even in the films, and like that were in maybe some comic books or like maybe some of the shorts, and that merchandise was so valuable to them.
I saw a TikTok the other
Disney.
day of like the actual Lightning McQueen car was like somewhere in I don't know where it was, Texas or something.
Oh no,
Like that
I've
they
seen
use in the movie, or is it in Disney?
no. So they built a new attraction. It's like a Lightning McQueen show. It's called Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. It's in Hollywood Studios, right next to Rock and Roller Coaster. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do it. It's more geared towards
Paul
kids.
was too big for the ride.
No, but I wanted to see the
Excuse me, sir, you gotta
show.
be 4 foot tall to get on this. You have to show me that you're wearing. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
you
gonna say
need to
show me you're
show
wearing
me-
Cars underwear.
Yep.
Kids show,
That's
kids ride.
that's also a lawsuit coming.
But on TikTok,
Show me your underwear, kids, and you can get on the ride.
I mean, yeah, that's a lawsuit there for it.
The
a
big
lawsuit.
debate, do I keep that or do I cut
keep-
that?
that's fine.
That's the first way ticket to the lawsuit.
But oh no, on TikTok. So there's actually really cool TikTok accounts that are geared towards wraps on cars, where they'll have a Chevy or a sports car that they'll wrap and make Lightning McQueen. Or I've seen
I've
cars
seen that.
where they've done like a truck, and they take like a Toyota truck and they make it the Pizza Planet truck from the original Toy Story films.
Can we talk about that fucking Pizza Planet truck being in every goddamn Pixar movie?
We've definitely talked about it on the show before.
That was before we had nice things, like a nice mic and nice cameras and shit.
But yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of we could talk about Pixar. We probably talked about it before, but in Pixar films, there's a few Easter eggs that are in every single Pixar film That is the Pizza Planet truck, which is in almost every Pixar film except for one. I believe it's The Incredibles. And what's cool about it is because there's so many different types of films where you have like Finding Nemo and you have The Good Dinosaur where it's prehistoric. The animators have to get very creative on how they put it in, whether that be like a rock formation, which I think was in The Good Dinosaur, or, you know, it's just cool to kind of look in those films and try to find the creative ways that the animators put the Pizza Planet truck in. The Luxo or the Pixar Ball, I think it's like the Luxo Junior Ball, and it's that famous Pixar ball you've probably seen.
Luxo Junior. That was a trivia question I had. That's the lamp.
That is the lamp.
See, I process and I learn on this show, Paul.
That's the famous
I grow
Pixar
as a
lamp.
person through Life's a Party show.
There's a brain under that hat.
There is a brain. There is a brain. And that famous Pixar ball, it's like the yellow ball with the red star and the blue stripe. That's in every Pixar film as well. And then also in every Pixar film, there is an Easter egg to the next Pixar film that you don't know of yet because you haven't seen the film. But once both of those films are out, you can go back and kind of find that Easter egg. And that's usually the main three. There's also the lettering A113.
Yeah, A113. That's Otto's name, isn't it?
No, so A113 is the classroom that a lot of animators graduated from in college at the
Monster
California like Institute of the Arts, I
Monster
think.
University.
So Pixar is cool because they do a lot of Easter eggs in their films.
Do you think there's gonna be another like Pixar, Marvel like company
I mean, there are a bunch of companies
that
where
do these movies that intertwine in production?
I think there's two main animation studios that I think you should be on the lookout for. The first is Sony Animation, which originally did super bad. They were not putting out good hits. They made the Emoji Movie, which is one of the worst animated movies of all time. But then they also made Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is known as one of the most creative and best animated films ever made.
That's a wide range right there. A
So,
shitty
right-
movie to a very prominent movie.
But I think Sony Animation is one to look out for, especially with their Spider-Man properties. And then I think Illumination Entertainment, which is from
Despicable Me.
Europe, and they're Despicable Me, Secret Life of Pets, and I think they've done very well. Even Sing and Sing 2.
Yeah.
Sing 2 just came out in the theaters, and I haven't seen it yet, but the first one was nominated for Best Animated Film, and this one is probably going to be nominated as well and has performed very well at the box office. So people like those films.
How many movies are too many movies?
What do you mean? Like for a studio though?
Would
No, not
would
for
Shrek
like,
have like 5 different?
Oh, you mean for a brand?
for a brand.
Um,
Yeah, like like Harry Potter. There's like a fucking shit ton of Harry Potter.
well, Harry Potter is 8, but if you look at
You compare it to like a TV series, so it's like 8 Harry Potter movies. They're all 2 hours. Say, I know they're longer than that, but then that's what 16 hours, an hour an episode. It's 16 episodes of a TV show.
I think it's different the way media and people consume media has changed. So I think back in the day, a trilogy was perfect. I was like, if you like this character, so
Yeah.
Shrek, for example, I think they made 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So that's maybe not the best example, but after 3, I think the quality kind of changed.
Well, the problem is also that nowadays, I think if you're gonna have more than 3 movies or even more than just one movie, like Harry Potter, they have books to go off of.
Correct.
And like nowadays, when people want to do another movie, they see how number 1 plays out, and they the people like this. Let's write 2. Let's write 3. If 2 does good, then we'll write 3. If 3 does all right, maybe we'll do I think it's better in those who are more successful or ones that already have a plan going into it. Like Spider-Man off the cuff, or do they have like I guess it is more so off the cuff.
It's more off the cuff. Well, the problem with what
they
you're
have comic books.
Yeah, but the problem with what you're proposing is that those movies are pushed based on money. So if something does well, like they're not going to put out a movie and then guarantee you 3 films, which would be ideal because what they can do is they can
Yeah,
intertwine.
but they could have 2 films ready in the background when they release the first one.
They could push all 3 films to they could kind of write them all at the same time, have them formed, and that's what worked really well for Back to the Future. Actually, they did the first Back to the Future, huge success, and they end up greenlighting Back to the Future 2 and 3. So then 2 and 3 are very similar and have all this cool back and forth and hidden Easter eggs and storylines that you're like, oh wow, that's really cool because they were written and shot back to back. And that's going to happen with The new Avatar.
Yeah, but then
films.
at the same time, people might not like how like they're an extended version. Because I know one of my favorite TV shows is Entourage, and they did an Entourage movie.
Yes.
But it was basically just in 2 episodes into one movie.
That's what
Like
Impractical
in Practical
Joker.
Jokers. Yeah,
Same
same
idea.
thing.
Impractical Joker's a great show. They made a movie that's basically a long
Just
version
4
of the show,
episodes, yeah.
and everyone's like, "This isn't worth it."
Right. So there's that angle to it too.
But most of the big movies, the reason why, like a Harry Potter, if a Harry Potter wasn't a book, I don't think the story would have been nowhere near as good because you're
And
waiting
they
on
wouldn't
the
have as many.
no, but you're waiting on the success of each movie to then for the studio to greenlight it and say, "Hey, it's worth our time and our resources to continue this story."
What does J.K. Rowling have? Like, what does she contribute from the books? Because like she just writes the book, then they like buy the story off of her. Like the production company buys Harry Potter off of her, and then she like helps produce it.
So
I don't know what her helping hand is in Harry Potter.
she definitely has a very good hand involvement in them. I know one of her biggest things was that they all had to be English actors. So
that was her like personal.
that was
thing?
her personal say. Said, "Hey, everyone in the film has to be an English actor because she wants it to be authentic to the story that she made, which is, I think has
Yeah, it
worked
makes
out to her
sense.
benefit. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But she's a specific creator who has a lot of say in her development of her properties and her rights. And, we talk about Universal here on the show. If you go to Harry Potter World or the Wizarding World of Harry Potter down in Orlando at Islands of Adventure at Universal Studios, Florida, those lands, because they're based on Harry Potter and the property, J.K. Rowling had a lot of say in the look and feel to those lands. And if they have to change anything in the lands, they have to get approval by her.
I
Which
hope
is,
so.
I mean, if
I
I
would
was
hope so.
if I was a creator and I had a property that big, I would want my say
Well,
involved.
could you imagine if you wrote Harry Potter and then you did the movies and you show up to the park when it's already done? It's like shit.
That's, I
Like,
mean,
it's like-
yeah. So she's also protecting herself, but it's hard. It's hard for them to build and do any more and expand the world because everything has to go through her. But I could see, like, if I were her, I would do the same thing.
Is Harry Potter still going?
They have the prequel series, which is the Fantastic Beasts.
Wait, did you ever see a TikTok where like the girl watched all the Harry Potters with her friend and she filmed her reaction after every single Harry Potter? I don't know if you saw that TikTok.
I've seen people do that with Marvel movies. They'll like make their significant other watch each Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And they'll get the reactions and like, so you get to see the story progress through a fresh eye, which is dope.
It'd be interesting to see what's the next like Harry Potter, Marvel. Illumination's doing good. I like how you shouted them out.
Yeah, Illumination Entertainment.
Shout out.
I mean, dude, no, but
They're fucking watching this.
no, Despicable Me was came out of nowhere from a brand new animation studio.
Was
And
that like their first big thing?
Yeah.
Illumination
Yeah,
was Despicable Me.
100%.
Yeah.
I like Secret Life of Pets. That's because my boy's in it.
Kevin Hart's in that. So I think that animation studio, and then Dune. So Dune came out in December. Dune was like Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya, and there was a bunch. That was a movie that was heavily stacked with actors, and that was based on a book. That's based on a book series, and even they did original movies that came out in the 80s, and they were kind of reviving this. And I think that could do really well. But the only thing is, it's very heavily. There's a lot of mythology to the film, and I think it's going to be hard for the average movie-going audience to get involved in those films. But I mean, we've seen it with Star Wars. I mean, what's crazy is Star Wars was actually heavily influenced by the original books of Dune.
Mhm.
So you can, I don't know, like, would you really, you want these new franchises, but would you heavily get involved in like the backstory and the mythology?
Like dive deeper into
If
it.
Harry Potter came out today and you realize that there's like 8 books on it and there's a lot of knowledge that you probably need to know to enjoy the films, would you do that? Like, would you?
No.
See?
No. But I do that with everything. Like The Big Short is one of my favorite movies about the stock market. I watch that first and then I go back and like look into like what is the stock market and shit, like the details of that. That's
Okay.
just because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big reader, but I'm really not going to study mythology. There's no fucking shot. All right. Well, that's our. We should get our own TV studio. Let's make our own animation. What if we make a short film?
We could definitely make a short film.
We got to find an animator. I'm sure producer Drew can do animation.
You want,
I
we could,
cannot animate for fuck's. I can't even write my name without it looking like shit.
we could do a short film and not make it animated. I don't know.
Oh, animation, you have to draw it, right? Like, is that?
I mean, you would do computer animation. Yeah, it's very time consuming. It's
I could do computer animation, not drawing animation.
There you go.
Come on, we get a short film that gets like an award at the Oscars or some shit.
That's true.
Promote our show.
Party short film. Kids shows underwear to get on Lightning McQueen. Scuba beard, 15% off. All right, here we go. Our final topic of the day. We're bringing it back. It's a fan favorite. People love hot takes. We're not giving the hot takes. We're going to go down a list of 8 hot takes, give our opinions on them. Do we agree? Do we disagree? These spark a lot of great conversations, so a lot of people, our fans, love it. So let's get into some hot takes. The first one, Paul.
That beer tastes weird out of a can.
I agree.
100%.
I agree that out of a can, beer is probably the least favorite way to drink beer. It's probably draft number 1, bottle number 2, then can. But the problem is can's more versatile.
100%.
Like if you go like we went tailgating, we have cans. They're like a bottle could break, or you can't carry a draft around the parking lot of the Eagles tailgate.
No, you cannot do that. No.
So, and you could shotgun, you could play drinking games. It's just, it's more accessible and more versatile in a can than in a bottle or a draft.
100% agree.
You prefer draft, right?
I prefer draft. No, that list and that order was spectacular.
I got to take a video of what my mom got. I said it on the show 2 shows ago, I think. My mom got me a thing where you put the bottle or the can in the maker and it comes out as a draft. So I might have to put a video up on Life's a Party on their Instagram, Life's a Party Pod. Check us out, give us a follow, and I might put it up there to see how it tastes.
There you go.
All right, next one is, this is interesting. So if you need someone else to write your songs, Paul, people are saying that you're not an artist. Like if you don't write your own songs, you're not considered an artist.
I disagree with that because I think it's hard because a lot of people are very, very talented singers and creative people that have input, but they cannot start from scratch. And what's hard is like a lot of people will be like, oh, if you didn't start it from scratch, it's not your original idea and product or like, idea, that you are not the creator of that. But if you put your spin on it, your creative flair, your voice, I think you have creative liberty and you put creative liberties to it, you can consider it your product now.
At the same time, I kind of think that people who write their own songs should have more respect. Like you think like Justin Bieber, he just gets handed his songs. But just because he's this young, good-looking kid, girls love him.
And can sing very well. He pushes product.
Let's give you this song, and then you just got to sing it. Like, I have less respect for that. I mean, I'm a big Bieber guy. Let's not get that twisted. But I have less respect for that when I think Ed Sheeran might have even written one of Bieber's new hits.
Well, Ed Sheeran wrote the song.
If you the way.
Love Yourself.
Yeah, Love Yourself. I'm pretty sure Ed Sheeran and whatever that crackhead guy is that is always on TikTok.
Benny Blanco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those two wrote that song, but then Bieber gets big off of it. He's almost getting like spoon-fed songs.
There's songs that the Chainsmokers have wrote for a lot of people.
There's also those stories about how artists turn down songs because they don't like it.
Yeah.
And then
they're huge hits.
Yeah.
Those songs are huge hits.
Those are brutal. It's the same thing with movies, though. You turn down a movie because you don't like the script or you don't like the storyline or the director, and then next thing you know, it's one of the best movies of all time.
Studios pass on movie scripts all the time. Yeah.
I think people who have more respect if they start from ground zero and write their song and stuff. But I get what you're saying, where you add your own flair and you're famous for a reason, you're talented in different ways. But
agreed.
Next one.
Yeah, next one we got here. Watching a movie at home is better than watching a movie in the theater.
I know you have strong feelings for
That's
this
a
one.
strong statement from whoever this is.
It's definitely cheaper. You get to go to the bathroom and you can pause the movie at any time.
That's such
good
a
point.
luxury.
Good
That
point.
is a very big luxury. You could Netflix and chill during the movie.
Good point.
You could do that in the theater.
You're like I could watch the movie but not watch the movie, you know?
My girlfriend's like, did we watch that movie? I was like, I know we had it on.
That's
the
the biggest thing is like your mom's like, oh yeah, how was that movie? It's like, I mean, it was on in the background.
Like I got a little bit of it. I mean, we didn't have to take that long of a break.
But I could see how people like the idea of watching a movie at home. And
but I'm waiting for the but.
and the idea of the accessibility of going to the back room.
You get when you're in that seat and you're eating the popcorn, the surround sound of the sounds and the feeling of the movie is different in the theater.
There's a reason why
You
theaters.
sound like one of Jeff Dunham's puppets.
Same thing it is too. It gets hot and then it gets steamy and then it goes ding.
That's what I am.
But the theater.
That's what I was going for.
The theater experience is incredible, and there's reasons why movies are made for the theater.
Well, luckily they got the reclining seats now.
Yes.
Those are dope.
But the theater experience of, as Ryan said, like the sound is better, the screen is better, the equipment showing the theater is better than most of the things that average people can afford and put in their house. And
I do like the volume.
Okay.
Because I always have a problem with the volume in my house. Like I gotta when it gets loud, I gotta turn it down. And when it gets,
that's another thing. Like sometimes there's quiet bits and there's loud bits. I think they master it to a certain degree.
You hear everything perfectly in the movie theater.
But everything is better in the theater, and then at the top of it is specific films are meant to be seen with audiences, and that audience experience and interaction and engagement for me is very important and makes me just enjoy the film better. But I can also see where a lot of people, I've talked to somebody about this, where they hate having any interaction or any sound other than what's coming directly from the screen.
I saw a TikTok where someone was in the movie theater. I guess they saw Spider-Man late, and it was the scene where Tobey Maguire comes into the movie and no one cheered, and they had it on camera. And they're like, "Man, these people didn't check the vibe check or something. Didn't fit the vibe check." I forgot what I was gonna say,
but seeing the Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame and seeing those movies in the theater was such an amazing experience and one of the best experiences that I've ever had. I liked seeing Spider-Man No Way Home, and I think there were a lot of really great moments in the film that invoked fan engagement and energy in the theater. But for me, like, I'm just not a huge Spider-Man person where like I was like clapping and cheering. I was like, but I remember, when Andrew Garfield came on screen for the first time, I was like, oh wow. Like I knew that was coming at points, but for the Avengers films where I was involved and engaged in that story for 10 years and it built up, and then to experience those moments in the theater with everyone who also was on my same level was just like amazing.
It's almost like a live sporting event.
Correct. Like you have people who are really involved and engaged in this content. And if you go to a sporting event and everyone's a huge Eagles fan or a Giants fan or whatever it is, and the game is just amazing, how much better is it sitting in a stadium watching the event live than sitting at your house on your TV?
With someone else that maybe they might not give a fuck.
100%. So that's a perfect example.
That's Tobey Maguire. Like, clap your fucking hands. Go to bed. You know what? You're not clapping your hands. I will say this, though, but sometimes you have bad experiences at the movie theater. Like, one time I went to Space Jam, the dude walked in smelling like weed and had Taco Bell and ate tacos next to me during Space Jam. And it was a 9 p.m. show, and there's a million kids, babies walking down the aisle. I mean, you have those sides of the argument.
You do. I mean, the theater-going experience isn't the best, and I think it depends on the theater you go to and I guess you would say security that they have, like people allowing food in and allowing kids in and people to be on their phones. And like, honestly, I mean, the worst thing in a movie theater for me is someone with their phone out. And now
have you ever yelled at anybody?
No, but I was this close to yelling at someone. I think it was Spider-Man No Way Home. And I think they were like 10 rows down. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and it lasted for maybe 2-3 minutes. And I sat there and I'm like, do I do it? Like, like, I've never gotten to this point before, but this man is ruining my movie right now. And I'm about to freaking scream. And I waited and I'm like, just wait. Don't do it. Because I didn't want to do it. Like, I really didn't want to be that guy. But here's the thing. When movies go, when people are in the seats in a movie, right, and the phone's on or they're talking or whatever, you ruin my experience. But what's gonna ruin it more is me having to get up, go talk to you. I'm gonna waste like 5 minutes of the movie and miss the story by trying to like make it better.
Oh, so you would have got up and talked to them? You wouldn't yell at anything?
No, the thing is, I would have yelled because it would have been a lot quicker. It would have been a lot quicker for me to just be like, hey, turn it off now or I will come down there and get you. Or it would take me 5 minutes to get up, get out of my seat, go down there, hunch over, be like, hey, man, can you like turn off your phone? It's really distracting for everyone in the theater. And then he'll do it 2 minutes later. Then I'll have to go down and do it again. But if you yell him in the middle of the theater, tell him to shut it down, and then boom, good to go.
Jesus Christ. All right, so don't go to the movie.
But that has taught me lessons to figure out what are the best times to go to the movie theater. Tuesday at 2:00, during the middle of the day, a Sunday late at night. There are specific times that you can avoid large crowds of people and there's obnoxious people.
This man's got it down to a science.
He does. He does.
what he
He's got the Cinemark season pass. Come
That's
on.
what I do.
AMC A-list, whatever the fuck it is. Marriage is a business deal is a hot take someone had, Paul. I know you're big on this. Well, here's my outlook on it. So, like, me and my girlfriend, we've been together for, what, 8 or 9 years? Everyone knows that we're together.
Correct.
We're both living at home with our parents. So, a wedding, and we just posted a TikTok about how expensive weddings are and how time-consuming they are. So, why would we force getting married so soon? Sounds like I'm in a midlife crisis right here. Why would we force getting married so soon when we can use that money and maybe go on a trip while we're young or move out finally and get a house? People get married young. I just don't like they're expensive. Like weddings probably are like 25 grand.
Way more than that.
More than that, exactly.
An average wedding right now, I think you're more right. I think the average American wedding, I think, is like 25 to 30 grand.
So what is the pure advantages of getting married?
There's only a few things. I think it deals with taxes and like finances of some sort.
Yeah, but you don't have to have a wedding to do that. You
No.
can just get married.
No, 100%. No, yeah, you're 100% right. But I think a lot of it is, just our generation too, realizing that I've talked about it. I'd rather take 40 grand and go spend it on a vacation, or like go spend it on 4 vacations, right? Like go take, like me and my significant other taking a vacation and having 10 grand. We could do a lot. Like we could do a lot for 10 grand and do that 4 times, other than pay for all these people's
And everyone
meals.
already knows you guys are together. Like,
People knows we're together, but I can see where people say, "Hey, I want to have a celebration." Okay, have a smaller celebration at your house in your backyard for 10 grand. Whatever you want to do, feed those people, have a great time.
I want to get married, but I want to do it right. Like I want my wedding or your wedding. Like we want to have good ass fun weddings.
Oh, right.
If I were to throw a wedding in a year from now, it'd be pretty fucking shitty.
So-
unless you guys like and subscribe to this YouTube video page,
100%
which you can
like,
do at the bottom
subscribe.
there. We got Patreon popping. We actually got our first Patreon member.
Yeah, pretty dope.
But I guess that I don't know the ins and outs of like wedding contracts and prenups and all that dumb shit. But
When you're
sorry,
ready-
babe, we're not getting married anytime soon.
When you're
sorry
ready
if
to
you
get-
have to find out this way.
When you're ready to get married, like it's good. And a lot of times, like I would suggest you not to do it until you're financially ready to do it. So
Right.
it doesn't matter what anyone else says or like, oh, you're 29. Like, are you getting married soon? It's like, dude, I'm fine. Like, you just gotta push people aside and not care about other people's opinions.
We talked about that, but we didn't really touch on the hot take. Marriage is a business deal. I don't know. Like, I guess.
What do you mean, like a business deal?
Are we talking about gold diggers?
I don't think so. I definitely don't think that's what
All
that's
right, well,
saying.
we're just gonna go past this.
Okay.
Next one.
Next one we have is the best and only way to sleep is naked.
Obviously, I live at home, so I can't do this as often.
What do you mean? You don't have like a door? You don't lock your door?
No.
You don't lock your bedroom door?
No, I
A
don't.
little bit more suspicious when you have to lock the door.
You sleep naked?
No.
I
But I
don't.
sleep in like my underwear.
That's not naked.
No,
Everyone
well,
sleeps in
I'm not
underwear.
saying I do, but I'm just saying like I could if I wanted to. A lot of people do.
I know a lot of people sleep naked, but what if there's like a robber and then like they come in your house? That's like a bad time to be naked.
I think that's a great time to be naked.
Could you imagine like dying just butt ass naked?
Yeah, who cares?
You're
Or
already
what if
dead.
there's
You're already
what if there's a
dead.
fire and you have to like go out your window? You can't go out your door. You're gonna be butt ass naked in the middle of the night.
Take a sheet with you.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I don't think it's that big. Just freaking go. Like who cares?
I'm fully clothed every time I go to bed. Sometimes I just wear like exactly what I'm wearing: t-shirt and jeans in bed.
There you go.
You wear jeans to bed?
No way. That's wild.
You sleep with jeans. The only time I sleep with jeans is when I pass out drunk at a party.
I used to fall asleep in jeans in like high school, and it was like on the couch. Like I would never go to bed. Like
I
you
don't
go
even wear jeans on a regular day basis, let alone sleep in them.
Do you wear jeans at home? Like
I do
just
wear
lounging,
jeans at home,
right?
but like I will wear sweatpants sometimes. But
So like you get ready for bed, you go into bed and you have jeans on.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just like fuck it. I'm gonna take a shower tomorrow. I'm
We
just
have
gonna
a
go to bed.
psycho, as a
Psychopath in the
producer.
room.
That's
Yeah,
what it
100%.
is.
At
That's
least
insane.
at least I wash my bed sheets. It's the least that I can do.
yeah.
Thanks. I don't know where we're going with that, but okay. Next one is 2 left. Different brands of water do not all taste the same. That is a hot take that I can get behind.
Water tastes different. That's 100%.
There's definitely different tiers of water. Like when the whole like your mom or dad or grandparents are like, just drink the tap water. No, like there's different waters that taste good.
Oh, 100%.
Didn't Dasani is one of the worst.
Dasani is one of the worst.
Isn't there like they found like salt
Salt.
in there?
There's salt in Dasani.
That's so fucked.
The idea is that you drink more, you get more thirsty, you buy more Dasani. So it's like a cycling process
Coca-Cola.
for them. Yeah, and it's from Coca-Cola. So
Or there's like the Voss. Is that what it is?
Voss water, Fiji water.
I wonder what the most expensive water bottle is.
There's definitely super expensive.
What's the one?
waters.
Smart Water.
I like Smart Water. I think it tastes the best, but it is expensive. It's
There's
like
water
it's like $2.50 a bottle.
There's like water that's just like dripped through diamonds, and then they sell that shit for like hundreds a bottle.
You could buy
I
anything
can't
you
look at
want.
producer Drew without thinking he wears jeans to bed.
Anything you want in the world, you can do a premium price
Coming
for.
from the guy wearing a scuba hat.
Well, it's like what was it? What we talked about? I don't know.
Have you seen the dog water?
dog water?
So people, you at the grocery store now, you can buy packaged water for your dog.
That's
insane.
See, that's kind of weird because dog water is another word that is now making the ranks for people who
Yes.
play Fortnite, for someone who's bad at something.
Dog water.
0 PR, dog water, you're bad.
Yes.
dog water.
Dog
No, I
water.
think that means like gross water.
No, dog
No,
water. is
Dog
Dog
water's
water's-
been around for a long time. Like,
It's-
oh, you suck like dog water. That's been around for a while.
No, but I know what he's saying. It's like your dog water. You're bad. You're bad.
So
at
what do you
this.
do? You buy a fucking dog water bottle and you pour it in
No,
a bowl?
so it comes in a bowl and it's like a packaged bowl.
What? That's
and
insane.
you buy it and then you would pour, it's like a plastic bowl, and then you would pour the water into your dog bowl. And everyone's like, oh, this is so stupid. Who would buy this? And it's like, we buy Poland Springs and Dasani and we buy packaged water in
The dog
plastic.
isn't gonna fucking care.
Yeah, but dude, I'm telling you, no matter what, people will buy it. Like, it's crazy.
Fucking hell.
That dog's gonna go on to be great. That's what that dog's gonna be. It's to be the greatest fucking dog
You
of all
give the
time.
you give the dog tap water on a run. He's like, no.
Last hot take we have here is making the bed is a pointless chore.
I
Yes.
certainly don't do it. But I understand the thought process of, oh, you accomplished something early on in the day.
That's a good
So
point.
it's supposed to give you a good feeling to go accomplish things for the day. But at the end of the day, you're just getting back in it to mess it up again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm
I-
just gonna fucking mess it up again. Who cares?
So I never made my bed until I started having to share a bed. Now that I live with my significant other, and
I think that's gonna be the same for me.
we make the bed every day. I mean, it's what she
do it
does.
together.
No, I usually make it. She makes it a lot though. No, you make it a lot. You make it a lot. But
You're yelling at her for not making the bed. I'm telling my girlfriend we're not getting married. This is
great episode here. But
we might be single after this one.
I grew up never making the bed, and my biggest argument, because my mom yelled at me all the time. She was like, make your bed, make your bed. I was like, the only person that bothers is you. It's my bed. I shut my door. You don't have to look at it. I don't know why we're doing this.
I think
And
I've actually made your bed one time.
You have.
The thing about Paul is like when I was little, I go to his house and his mom, who's the best, Deb's the best, would make me do house chores at Paul's house.
That's true.
One time I had to take his trash out.
Yes, you
I
did.
wanted to take the trash out of my own house when I was 10 or 12.
Which is an awful thing. I mean, I'm glad my mom could teach you a life lesson.
And she's like, Ryan, can you go take the trash out? I'm like, "What the-" I made Paul's bed one time. I had to take his dog out to the bathroom the one day.
Well, here's the thing. I did.
I'm like, Paul, she asked me to make his bed while I was standing in the room with him next to him. She said, Ryan, can you make his bed? He's right fucking there, Miss McGroarty.
I think parents should do that more often. Where
What?
no, honestly though, like the amount of shit my mom has probably done for you, that like if my mom's like letting you be at the house, like constantly makes food for you, and that like, she's in the process of doing chores, and then just like, hey man, like, can you just take this
were
this
in
trash
the
out?
room.
I was doing something else. I was
So
doing
it's the difference of you want them to do something while they're there, and then there's other people that are just like, you're our guest, let me take care of you.
no, 100%. But I mean, someone who's been coming around for 20 years, like it's different. You know what I mean?
That was funny. What was the question? Oh, making
the bed. No, so my biggest argument towards my mom making the bed was that when you take off your shoes, right? You don't retie your shoes.
When you take off your shoes, you don't retie your shoes.
So if you walk in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like that's the idea. It's like I'm taking off my shoes and then I tie them to make sure they're neat while they're off my feet. It's the same idea. It's like you go and you get out of your bed. Why make your bed if you're just going to go back in it?
That is pretty stupid.
But there's also the argument. It's like, okay, like you still wipe your ass when you shit, right? Even though you're going to continue to shit, you got to keep it clean.
Hold on, there's something about we gotta hit these two. All right, so should toilet paper hang over or under the roll? What do you do?
Who
So this is-
fucking cares?
No. But this is actually really interesting. So there was a huge marketing push by toilet paper companies.
Fucking with me.
Okay.
So if you put toilet paper, if it hangs down under,
No, you under is this way. Where like
no,
you
like
pull.
No, you pull no.
Oh, you're pulling down.
You pull down
Either way.
I have it coming
It's
up.
under. No, so toilet paper hangs under the roll, right?
Towards the wall or from the wall. Let's do it like that.
This is the stupidest argument we're having. Okay, toilet paper hangs underneath, right? It's not over. It hangs underneath. Toilet paper companies were doing a huge ad push to say that toilet paper should hang under the roll because by you rolling it and taking toilet paper out that way, you use more toilet paper. So they would be pushing more product if the toilet paper hangs under.
Oh, that's what I do.
So you're probably buying more toilet paper than other people if they hang it
Just
over.
got.
I
just got.
I have something very controversy-ish.
Okay.
I brought this up, and I ended up being like an outlier to my friends, but I thought everyone did this, and it pertains to shitting.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
So, like, when I wipe my butt, I go between my legs.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that not everybody does that.
A lot of people. Yeah. I mean,
A lot of people, like, go behind their body to
Most
wipe their
people
butt.
do. Yeah.
Or people, like, stand up and do
Yeah,
it. But I go
that's-
between my legs.
There was a whole
Like a basketball
there
You
was
court.
a-
You wipe up. Yeah.
There was a whole Twitter war that went over people standing up, sitting down, or using bidets, and that was a huge controversy for a few
Dude,
days.
bidet's one of the things I'm getting. When I get a new house, I'm getting a bidet and a brick oven pizza. Two things. Oh, and the fountain soda thing, the gun that you get like a restaurant or bar.
I feel
that
like
shoots
that's going to be
soda.
so expensive for you
I don't give
because
a-
you're buying syrup from the companies.
I'm doing it. And then a brick oven pizza, I don't care if it's 10 grand, I'm getting it.
I agree, though. A bidet is definitely a
I've never
first
done
purchase
that.
for
Have
me.
you done it?
I've done.
Yeah, I've done it.
They have-
Is it like game changing?
it's
So you
weird.
don't wipe, you just get sprayed with
Well,
water.
you still want to wipe once because then your ass is wet. But it is when I was in Hawaii, the hotel I was staying at, they all had bidets there, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll try it out. That and warm seats, I don't fucking understand that, but you know, it's startling unless it's warm.
All right, so this is the last one before we end the show. This one's a good one. Are men with beards more attractive than clean-shaven men?
Well, we got two guys with beard and one man without.
Well,
so-
here's my take on this. So I think that men with beards is almost like makeup for girls.
I agree. I mean, it covers a lot
It
of
can
acne.
cover like
yeah.
acne or like a double chin. What else? I had notes for this one.
It makes them look older. A
I
beard
think,
is.
I think that people who are clean shaven, it's more impressive if they're attracted to a guy with a beard.
Yeah, that's right. The age thing, because you still get carded while I'm 18, and they don't look. They
That's
don't
true.
even check.
That's true.
I mean, I know I can't grow a beard, but I'm saying that I think that the beard is the makeup. I know a lot of girls like guys with beards, but I'm
100%.
saying it's more impressive if a guy is better looking with no facial hair than it is with a guy with facial hair.
Well, that's the same thing where I would agree that I'm more attracted to someone who doesn't wear makeup than wears makeup.
And it's another thing where some people will only want people that are clean shaven because it's more professional like.
Or it's
when
just
you
cleaner. People
Yeah.
believe it's cleaner as well.
Dude, I'll have like a little bit of like a nub. My girlfriend's like, you got to shave that. You're spiky. I'm like, look at me compared to the other guys.
Yeah.
You're lucky that I can't grow facial hair.
That's
If
true.
you're bitching about that, I'm definitely gonna be
But
single after
what do you
this
think
episode.
about that being a professional thing? With like, you know, you go to an interview, you want to be clean shaven. Do you
Well,
think that should be the norm?
Well, we talked about this on an episode. The Yankees make their players, the New York Yankees baseball, they can't have facial hair.
Really?
They make them
or
shave.
long hair. They make them cut their
They
hair.
clean cut head, and they got to shave their beards and mustaches.
Fuck.
It's the only club that does that. And I mean, I worked at a golf course a couple years ago, and every morning before I came into work, I would come into work at 6 o'clock in the morning. I had to shave. I had super short hair, and I remember one day I shaved, and then I worked a full shift, and then I came in at 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't shave that morning, but like I shaved like the day before. So I was still very cleanly shaved. And I remember coming in with like little stubble. And at 7:30 in the morning, my boss is like, "Hey, did you shave this morning?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "Okay, go shave right now."
What?
And he gave me a razor and shaving cream, and I was like ready to go in the locker room.
That's
But
wild.
that just shows you some like very prestigious places are still, I believe living in the past of like
Oh,
that
yeah.
cleanness. And it goes the same way
Well,
with
tattoos.
right? So people believe tattoos and facial hair and long hair is unprofessional, but that stuff has nothing to do with you being productive and good at your job.
What
Yeah, you
about
still
what
get
about
the dub.
grills?
Okay, now that's a little far.
What was I gonna say? Can you associate people with beards and mustaches as lazy people?
No, 100% not.
No, because we.
Do you think? I think maybe sometimes that people originally grow beards is because they don't feel like shaving it.
I grew out my hair
They're like,
originally.
okay, this looks decent. Now I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, but I don't.
Is that how it starts? Like,
Yeah, that's how-
you don't
that's
go,
how
oh, I want a beard. You go, oh, I don't feel like shaving every day.
That's
Then you
how it
start
started for me, because when it was during COVID, I just grew the beard out. I didn't fucking care, because I wasn't going out anyway, so I didn't care. But now that COVID's not here anymore, now I actually, trim it up a little bit on the edges and I make it nice and presentable.
You look good. You don't look as good as Chubby DiCaprio, but that's
what I do.
At least I'm on the board.
That's a good little question we could have when we have a girl guest on or something like that. See their perspective.
Okay, that is our show, baby.
That's it.
Life's a party. We appreciate you guys listening, getting to the end, as always. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, at Life's a Party Pod. We're pushing this thing to the moon, so we appreciate you guys a lot. And we got a Patreon, so that was a big push for us.
It was.
We have our first Patreon member. We're posting exclusive content now, behind the scenes, and some special stuff over on our Patreon. So if you're interested, check it out. It's in the link in our bio.
We're using short clips that never make it onto a show. Some behind the scenes thing that could go on to be a lawsuit, but we'll leave it on Patreon for you to check out.
And just some stuff of like how we build our set, more about us, that kind of thing. So
And give us a like and subscribe. Like that truly will help us like grow and do more stuff. Like our Man on the Street, we have another project coming out of sort of videos. But if you truly give us a like and subscribe to the channel, maybe just talk about Life's a Party, wear your merchandise, or even Spotify has reviews now. So go give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Like that little shit helps us so much. So if you just take the time and go do that, we appreciate it.
a review's a big thing. As always,
Music, take us out.
peace, baby.
Later.